evening. Welcome to the Windsor Board of Education regular meeting of Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and then a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. And I'm sure I pleased Mr. Lockhart tonight by starting right at 7 for my last meeting as board chair here. Even though one of our members isn't here, I know he'd be upset if I didn't start on time, and it's kind of a bittersweet night for me as president, and for Jill here, and as we're going off the board, and have great fond memories of the board, and pleased that the board, most of the board members will be coming back for another year, and we all believe in Windsor Public Schools and making them the best that they can be. Are there any other recognitions or acknowledgements? Dr. Haiti, do you have anything? Okay. Next item on the agenda is audience to visitor. And Ms. Daly, the last time I'll be saying, can you read your script?
Good evening, this is Robin Daly from the Superintendent's Office. If anyone from the public would like to address the board, you may do so in two ways. You may type your name, address, and comment into the Q&A feature in the Zoom application, or you may speak by clicking raise hand or dialing *9 within the Zoom app. When you are called on to speak, you will be given 3 minutes to state your name, address, and comment. Please do not place the call on speakerphone. No comments can be made against the employees of the school district or children outside of your own, and no comments will be made by the board at this time.
Okay, people who want to speak, at the 2.5-minute mark, Ms. Taylor will raise a red card and tell you to hopefully start winding down your remarks. And at the 3-minute mark, she'll hold it up and keep it up. And please, at that point, stop your remarks or finish up. The same for the people who are online. If you can't see a red card, at the 3-minute mark, she will let you know that your time has expired, and please finish your remarks. Next, I'll turn it over to Mr. Lockhart.
Good evening. As Secretary of the Windsor Board of Education, I wish to extend a warm welcome to everyone present and to our television viewers. The board, superintendent, and I are pleased that you have joined us to celebrate achievement, review information, and make policy decisions related to effective operations of the Windsor Public Schools. This is a regular meeting, and all items that will be discussed or voted on this evening have been posted as required by state law. Our mission is to develop the genius in every child and create lifelong learners. As the Windsor Board of Education, we are here to set goals, listen to reports of the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, and personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. We are not here to make management decisions or solve the problems of individuals. Management is the sole responsibility of the superintendent. Meetings of the board are open to the public. It is a time when the board conducts its business of governing the school system in a public arena. The regular meetings are not meetings with the public. Therefore, comments from the audience will be confined in the time designated for the public to address the board. Decorum and courtesy are important elements in effective public meetings. Please silence your cell phones or communication devices and refrain from talking while others are speaking. Since it's legally mandated that the proceedings be accurately recorded, the board chair may have to ask for order periodically should noise begin to interfere with our recording capabilities. I am pleased that you have taken time this evening to join us. We are very proud of this school system and thank you for your interest in Windsor Public Schools. And bless you.
Thank you very much. At At this time, is there anybody in the boardroom who'd like to address the board? Don't all rush up to the microphone at once. Is there anybody online with a hand raised or anything in the chat?
There are attendees online, but no one has their hand raised. There are no comments into the Q&A or into the chat feature.
Okay. Without objection, I'll close audience to visitor. Audience to visitor is now closed. Next item on the agenda continues the James Madison, Ayanna Taylor March towards Windsor Excellence. And what we've been doing for the public is trying to highlight some of the great things going on in Windsor Public Schools. Some things that can be shared and possibly replicated. Other things like tonight, something that is very exciting that many of the schools, all students, have an opportunity to partake in. And I know, Dr. Haiti, if you want to introduce our presenters on the planetarium.
Thank you, President Fury. So Windsor Public Schools launched Connecticut's first portable immersive planetarium designed for instructional use in a public school setting. While initially it was introduced to bring Next Generation Science Center, which is Science Standards, NGSS, to life, it has quickly expanded to enhance lessons in history and other subjects, offering students a fully immersive and inclusive educational experience. So today we have two of our wonderful technology lead teachers, Ms. Rebecca Zenzek and Mr. Stephen Rodanis. If you will please join us in the front.
Is this set, or do we have to push it? We have to push to talk on this? Is that how?
It's green, you're good.
Oh, it's green. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so good evening. Sitting next to, let me just say this. Both Rebecca and I are instructional technology specialists for the Windsor Public Schools. Tonight, for the next several minutes, we're going to take you on a cosmic journey by profiling the Windsor Public Schools' new portable planetarium. This planetarium makes space travel possible for all of our students. Next slide. Immersive learning benefits our students by making complex topics easier to comprehend and understand. Students are able to develop a better understanding of concepts that require 3D dimensional thinking. We've had our system for just over a year now, and has traveled to all of our schools. It's accessible to all students. We can fit an entire class of students inside due to its size. It's 10.5 feet tall with an outside diameter of 16 feet. Inside the planetarium is a projector that has a fancy lens called a fisheye, which provides nearly a 360-degree viewing image for the students. One of the many key aspects of the planetarium software is that its content correlates with Windsor's school curriculum. In addition to this, many of the topics for the planetarium are in line with the NGSS science standards. These next few slides will show you how we've integrated the planetarium's content into our grade levels and their topics of studies. Here's the elementary slide. As you can see, it's not just for astronomy. There are environmental topics that align with the curriculum. Now here's the secondary slide. The subject matter here is more complex and specialized to meet the secondary curriculum. Additionally, we've used the planetarium at several of the school's family engagement night celebrations.
Now let's take a quick visual tour to see immersive learning in action. The side-by-side images here highlight the system's efficient setup and accessibility, transforming common spaces such as our middle school and high school media centers into immersive learning environments. Its portable design ensures efficient setup and takedown, making this resource accessible to students across all schools. John F. Kennedy's STEM coach interacts here with third grade students as they view an immersive film on light pollution called Losing the Dark. Last May, students from our medical emergencies and intro to healthcare classes took part in powerful activities designed to build resilience and support mental well-being. Here, students are exploring mindfulness under the stars. This photo captures the spirit of our Camp Treehouse summer program. Students were so excited to view Max Goes to the Moon that they came prepared with custom-designed space helmets. This success is truly a team effort. Strong collaboration between our secondary library media specialists and elementary instructional coaches ensures that we align content, manage logistics, and keep the learning engaging and connected to classroom instruction. We are also building local capacity. Teams have participated in intensive professional learning in August of 2024 and August of 2025, led by a certified planetarian. This training ensures our staff is proficient in operational management, technical proficiency, and innovative program design, expanding the planetarium's educational impact. We are continuing to expand our program this year, successfully completing immersive experiences in archaeoastronomy and chemistry. We would be delighted if you could join us to see the impact firsthand. We invite you to a session with our high school marine biology classes for the first time on October 30th and 31st, or with our grade 1 students later in November. Specific details on these dates and times will be communicated to you. In closing, we want to thank the board for its continued support, and specifically Dr. Haiti for her partnership in setting a high bar for excellence in immersive learning. Thank you. We are happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments? Ms. Taylor?
Thank you so much. I'm geeking over here, right, James?
Yeah, this is great.
It's really great to see all the great things happening in the district. And when James and I, on a late 2 a.m. session of contract negotiations, we decided to do something special and ask for support in seeing what's going on in the district from the inside out. And this is literally what we're talking about. Every month we try to do this anyway. Tracy, before she was even on the board, before she stepped around the dais, she did one too. And I just think that this is necessary to lift these things. The general public would never know had we not. And so this is exciting. I can't wait to get the dates on this and the times, because I think we should go on a field trip. So I'm excited to really enjoy the immersive learning, and this is exciting. Quick question, is this happening anywhere else in the state?
That's a great question. As to our knowledge, we are the first Connecticut public school system to have a portable immersive planetarium. There are a lot of planetariums around the state, but they are fixed domes, whereas ours is portable. So we can bring it to all the schools and all our students have access.
I just wanted you to say it.
that.
Thank you. Because that's accessibility. That is like our mobile classroom. This is bringing the education to the children, to the people, instead of having to take all the kids to a planetarium like we had to do back in the day. But this is inclusion, and I love it. I'm over the moon, and I'll say more once I actually experience it. But
There you go, over the moon.
Oh, that's so cute. Okay, good. We'll write that down, Dr. Haiti. Has it been named yet? Is it called Over the Moon yet? It could be. We could talk about it. Okay, great. But no, this is wonderful. I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to see every month things like this brought to the board and the broader public. Thank you.
Other comments or questions?
Yeah.
Mr. Madison?
Yeah, it's just, thank you, appreciate it. I mean, as Ayana was saying, one of the things I do is I go around as a parent, and sometimes I freak out the teachers. Mr. Everything told me. Because I ask a lot of probing questions, and I tell them I'm on the board of ed. But I'm not trying to play gotcha. I see a lot of really impressive stuff when I'm in there as a parent, and I really get excited. And that's why I say I love Windsor schools. It's awesome. We just had parent-teacher conference at the high school this week, and I was very impressed with everything I'm seeing there. So I look at this stuff as a parent in the schools, and then I come here on the board, and it's like, okay, policy number 4 is going to be this. Does anyone agree? Like, oh, dude. So I'm just really excited that ground reality is coming in, just so we can spend 5 or 10 minutes really looking at the fruits of our labor, like why we're here. You're on the ground making it happen, so I don't want to take any credit, right? But it's like, we have this little piece on the board that helps you be successful as teachers, so really love that, and thank you very much. Question, one of my favorite questions, where did this start? The very initial spark of the idea, how did that start?
Well, it actually started just a mutual colleague. We were having a conversation about innovation, innovative technology, and he said, have you seen this portable planetarium that you can bring to all your schools? And I thought, no, but we're going to check it out. So we just did our research. We looked at a few companies that have these on the market. And there was just one that was a front runner. And so we put our presentation and our pitch together for Dr. Haiti. And we really specifically looked at how does this connect with curriculum? Are we going to explore standards? And how can we not only just explore science in a planetarium, how can we explore more topics? And I think anytime students have an opportunity to learn beyond the 4 walls of their classroom is amazing. And the fact that they can do it in their own school, a comfortable environment for them, is awesome.
Thank you.
Ms. Otter?
Just because I'm usually really big on asking questions about how this impacts, but I knew this was on the docket tonight, so I asked my daughter, who actually is in 6th grade and got to experience it for the work that they're doing on the Mayans. And I just want to let you know that for a kid who can't remember what she read 5 minutes after she read it, she was mapping things that she saw out. Just having that, being in that space, being out of the classroom, being able to be in that creative environment, something clicked. And to me, that was just amazing. So I wanted you and the people that are listening to really understand the real impact that this can have on our kids, and how important it is to their education. So thank you so much.
Thanks for sharing that.
Thanks.
Other comments or questions?
Oh,
Mr. Pearless?
that big ball over there, is that covered? Is that covered right there? So you have a whole bunch of different.
It's like an old military type tent. It's heavy duty, and then we fill it up with a blower, and it fills it up with air and expands, and it just stays open, and we have a zipper door, and the kids walk in, and they just sit around the perimeter.
And they sit right inside.
Yep, they sit right inside, and the projector's right in the middle of it.
I
And
see.
it puts the image all around.
So, and it's, you say, what, 16 foot? By, yeah, so.
10.5 feet high, yeah. We can fit a whole
Yeah.
class of kids in there.
Pretty interesting, yeah. And where does, so I guess it's all, you can do all sorts of things now with all sorts of applications that you can illustrate. I was curious, you could do chemistry here too with this. It's not just constellations.
Right,
Correct.
right. There's all sorts of different topics out there, companies that are developing curriculum and things like that.
Do you illustrate then the spectrum, the electromagnetic and magnetic spectrum with this here? You know, light is only a tiny part of the electromagnetic spectrum. Do they do any of that sort of thing?
We just did that last
yeah.
week. They did that in
Yeah.
the science classes at the high school.
Yeah. I wasn't paying attention.
No, we can go.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? I want to thank you, echoing some of the same comments here. The excitement of something that can be as the mobile classroom. We're going to where kids are with the mobile classroom. Here, kids don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to worry about a field trip to Northwest Park or to New York or someplace else. And it's for, as Ms. Taylor said, it's for everybody, all students.
Yes, it is.
So, and that's wonderful. So again, thank you so much for the presentation and what you guys do. And I know you've been both busy with the technology for the mobile classroom as well. So thank both of you for that
Thank you.
as well.
Yeah, anytime, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. And are there any items that you want pulled?
Hold on a second. The financial,
So we're going to pull the financial and anything else, Ms.
I had something
Cantor?
on, thank you, on the minutes, the first minutes, they're missing something.
Okay,
I saw
we'll
that
go to
today.
the minutes after.
Sorry, okay.
The reports.
Just so you know.
might as well. Food service is separate, right?
It's one of the reports. Yep.
Yeah, I'll have that. Why don't we ask a little about that?
Okay. So we'll pull the financial report and the food service report. Ms. Taylor with the motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Board of Education approve consent agenda items 5B enrollment report and 5D human resources report.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Panos, for the consent items 5B and 5D. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Abstention, motion carries 900. Let's do one at a time. Ms. Taylor?
I move the Board of Education approve consent agenda item 5A financial report.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Panos.
Yeah.
You want to speak to that, Mr. Panos?
Well,
to
just
start?
a few questions. I mean, I'm just curious here why pupil transportation and special ed transportation, you had no expenditures or almost no expenditures so far. Why is that?
So this actually comes up every year because we don't have school during the summer, obviously, so we don't get billed for September. We don't get billed for our ESY transportation until September, and then September the bill doesn't come till mid-October, so by the time I run the report, it's always a month or two behind.
But I saw no encumbrance, so that was the question, so.
Because we encumber when we pay. We don't encumber the whole year for transportation. We've never done that.
Since we used them, I thought like I said, we owed them money, so therefore we'd be encumbered or something, right? No?
It's not how we've ever done it.
Okay.
We pay the bill on a monthly basis when it comes.
Right, I see. So, we have, okay. I think that's the main thing. Thank you.
Any other questions from board members? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of 5A, the financial report, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions, motion carries 900. Ms. Taylor?
I move the Board of Education approve consent agenda item 5C food service report.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Panos for the food report.
Yeah, could you tell us how much we owe now in the red as a result of non-payments for
So, you're referring to the school policy?
On
meals?
the issue that's being addressed.
So I just want to make sure that has nothing to do with this report because school food department cannot pay, we're not allowed to by federal government pay the outstanding debt. So that does not reflect anything in here. That comes directly from the general fund. Just as a side note, I mean, I can tell you what we owe, but I just want to make sure you're
Okay,
not intermingling the
The
two.
general fund, meaning who? What do you mean by the general fund?
The Board of Ed budget,
Okay.
general fund.
So that's where we have to pay it, is what?
Correct.
Okay. And so it's not in their income, all right. So they don't reflect it here at all?
No, they can't. They're not allowed to pay school lunch debt because the money we receive is from the federal government for our free and reduced students.
Right,
Because we receive so much grant funding, we cannot then, in essence, make a profit to then pay lunch debt for other students. It's just not allowed in the law.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor of 5C, the food service report, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions, motion carries 900.
Any minutes need to be pulled?
Ms. Cantor?
Yes, on the minutes for 9:15, I see that, Mr. Panos's name was omitted along with his comments. It was, on the trip to Quebec. I know he was here, and it's down towards the bottom. They did the roll call, and then I didn't see anything, his name in there, and then came number 9, committee reports.
Is that, Mr. President, is that for minutes for Tuesday, September 16th?
True.
Yes,
September 16th?
15th, the 16th.
So, Mr. President, I ask that we accept, if there are no other minutes to be pulled, that we accept 6B through F as unanimous consent, and then go back to 6A for commentary.
Anything else that want to, any other items that want to be pulled? Okay, is there a motion then?
Mr. President, I move Board of Education approve the minutes as stated in the agenda for October 21st, 2025, 6B through 6F.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Lockhart, seconded by Mr. Panos. Any discussion? Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions? Motion carries 900.
Mr. President, move the Board of Education approve the minutes of September 16th, 2025, regular meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion, Ms. Cantor, can you go back to the,
Sure.
what part of the 16th? Is it page 1, page 2?
It wasn't paged out when I looked at it on my computer, but it was after number 6. And then you have, then it says during the roll call vote, several board members took the opportunity to speak, and it listed everybody except for Mr. Panos. And then number 9 came committee reports. So his name was not documented in there, and neither were his comments. It was about the trip to Canada.
Okay. So,
It had my name, Mr. Fury, Mr. Halleck, Mr. Lockhart, Ms. Taylor, Mr. Williston, and Ms. Sauter. And Mr. Panos' name was not documented in there.
all right. Ms. Daly? I'm sorry, Mr. President, can we refer
Yes.
to Ms. Daly, please?
Yes, please.
I don't have my notes from the evening. I would need to refer back to the video to see if comments were made. Typically, when I say that some board members made comments, it's because not everyone has. So I would need to refer back to the video to see what comments were made, if any. Because I know during the roll call vote, people are able to make comments, but it's not a requirement that they make comments.
That's correct.
So I would need to refer to my notes and the video.
Do you have a,
Just a question.
Ms. Taylor?
For clarity, Ms. Daly, the comments that are listed here aren't the comments during discussion. These are the comments during the vote.
That's correct.
Correct.
Yep. And,
Looking to you, Mr. Lockhart, with a suggestion.
well,
Is-
Ms. Taylor cleaned up the first part. The only time that it's verbatim is during a roll call vote. When it's general discussion, it's just stated in generalities, number one. And number two, I ask that this board consider adopting as presented, as we've done in past practice, with the understanding that Ms. Daly will go back and review the records, verify, and to make sure everything is correct, and then she will report back to you, Mr. President, and then you can advise the board that everything is all set.
Okay. With that understanding, and Ms. Daly too, get back to me. So that was the minutes of September 16th.
Yes.
Motion was made by Mr. Lockhart, seconded by Mr. Panos. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstention. Motion carries 900.
Thank you much.
Thank you. Student report.
Hi, guys. I have to get my notes app ready again. Hold, please. Okay, I haven't seen you guys since the 16th, so I have a lot to report. We are thrilled to share that our recent Big W Carnival that we held at Windsor High was a tremendous success. The event brought together students, families, and staff for a day full of fun, school spirit, and community connection. Many of our student organizations hosted booths and activities raising money for their class fundraisers, and it was wonderful to see so many members of the Warrior community come out and enjoy the day together. Last week, we also hosted a successful blood drive sponsored by Warrior Productions and the CTE department, the first of 4 scheduled for this school year. We are very proud to report that over 75 Warriors signed up to donate, and we were able to collect 39 pints of blood, exceeding both our participation and collection goals. A special thank you to Mrs. Green for her support and allowing us to use her incredible creative media center space, and to our dedicated maintenance staff for their care and assistance in making our event run smoothly. Looking ahead, PSA T-Day will take place tomorrow for grades 9 through 11 as our students prepare for this important testing opportunity. Counselors are working in the library every Thursday and Friday to help students with post-high school plans and in our senior seminar classes that we provide at Windsor High. Following that, we're gearing up for an exciting Spirit Week, leading into our homecoming Halloween game on October 31st against Simsbury High School. Our football team is having a phenomenal season, and we're currently 6-0. The boys are doing a fantastic job representing Warrior pride on and off the field. We'll wrap up the celebrations with our homecoming dance on November 1st. As the first quarter of the 2025 to 2026 school year comes to an end this Friday, October 24th, we are proud of the enthusiasm, hard work, and spirits our Warriors have shown. It's shaping up to be an outstanding year filled with achievement, community engagement, and Warrior pride.
Very good. Questions for our representative or comments? Ms. Taylor?
Thank you, Ms. Smart. Wonderful job. I just wanted to share that I popped my head into the college fair, and it was just buzzing. It was so well attended. Ran into a lot of parents, a lot of students, so I just wanted to lift that as well. It's always great to see our students thinking forward on things that they want to do after they leave Windsor High School. I want to also shout out there was many branches of the military there as well as community organizations, project graduation. So it's always great to see when the Red Towel lobby and the gym is filled with families, and I heard that the Big W was awesome.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be that fun, but I saw a lot of people there, and I was like, okay, Windsor. But yes, the college and career fair went amazing. Although I wasn't in attendance, I saw a bunch of pictures and videos, and I got a bunch of great feedback from a bunch of underclassmen. It's a very popular thing. I remember when I first started at Windsor High, I went in my freshman year, and I was like, okay, I'm really excited for graduation. And now I'm graduating in 5 months. So, yeah, it's great that we carry things like that to prepare people for their future. So.
Well attended. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Any other comments or questions? Thank you very much for your report, and as we usually say, if you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting or leave now or any time in between. So thank you for your service and your representation of students. Next item on the agenda is the President's Report. I can't really believe this is my last President's Report. Best of luck to all the board candidates who are running for office. Jill and I will have a lot of free time pretty soon. And as I said before, we're the ones smiling the most up here.
You'll regret it.
Yeah, uh-oh. Well, I know somebody who was on the board a long time and then left for 2 years and just wanted more fun. He said, I'm not having as much fun at home. I'm going to run again.
You'll be here in 2 years.
Thank you, Dr. Haiti, for having the mobile classroom all around town, including at the longest table event on the town green on September 19th, put on by HAT, the Hunger Action Team, which highlighted September as Hunger Action Month. It was great to see you there as well, Dr. Haiti, and I got you sitting next to Peter Souza there. I gave up my seat there for you. But again, thank you for having the mobile classroom there, and it's obviously been all around town. I should have found, like, where's Waldo, put little pins, where is it gonna be next? I did see Miss Taylor there that night as well, at the event. I attended the superintendent's coffee talk at the Bean at 226 on September 23rd. There was a great turnout, including other administrators, so people who had questions didn't have to say, I have to talk to that principal or administrator. They were there as well. And I know I saw, I think, Ms. Taylor and Mr. Lockhart there as well at that event. I was at Bart's this weekend on Saturday, where they had a music, art department, and our career and tech ed departments there. And again, I know that I went last year, I saw Ms. Taylor there again, Mr. Lockhart again this year and last year. And it's just phenomenal for the community to see it in action. I mean, we do invite people to come to Windsor High to see the amazing art, the art show, the fashion show, and the music that we have, but bringing it outside to anyone, to everyone, making it very accessible was great. And thank you for the participation. And the mobile classroom was there, and I'm so used to seeing it for elementary school, but I said, well, I'll go in anyway. I've seen this before, but it was no elementary things, and it was all about the high school. So that was great, including the drama club and CTE things that are going on. So that was great, and purchased some things from the art department. So I can't say, my grandkids won't be watching that, but they'll be getting little Halloween, little jack-o'-lanterns that they'll get to paint from the art department. Also, our mayor was there in action as well, as she was all around town this weekend. I think I ran into both the mayor and Ms. Taylor on multiple occasions, including seeing her at the grocery store. Was it before you had to get new tires, or? Very busy.
On a donut.
On a more serious note, I want to take the privilege as president of the board to address some anonymous complaints that have been circulated recently, including to some board members and Windsor Public School staff regarding district leadership and decisions by the Board of Education. The board is dedicated to a transparent process and committed to addressing valid concerns. However, anonymous complaints containing baseless and exaggerated claims do not contribute constructively to our shared mission of supporting our students and staff. We will not allow our work to be derailed by unfounded accusations that undermine our district and divert resources away from critical issues. Our policy is to address concerns submitted through proper, verifiable channels. The board does not and cannot address unfounded, anonymous complaints. For any community member with a genuine concern, I urge you to follow our established complaint procedures. This ensures we can properly investigate and resolve issues with integrity and accountability. Our focus must remain on providing an excellent education in a safe environment, free from malicious and unsubstantiated distractions. Please know that there are many opportunities to engage with the board, individual board members, and the superintendent. Thank you. If there's any questions about my report? Seeing and hearing none, we'll move to the acting superintendent's report. Oh, sorry. Yep. Sorry, revision 8B. Forgot that was added. My bad.
Okay, make a motion? Or you want her to go
Miss,
first?
yeah, Doctor, should we introduce the motion first?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
You're going to introduce it first?
Is there a motion?
Yes.
Yes.
For background, for the listening public, past practice has dictated that December 23rd has been an early release day. When developing the current 2025-2026 district calendar, this was overlooked. December 23rd, 2025 falls on a Tuesday this year. In order to keep with past practice, Tuesday, December 23rd, 2025 will be an early release day for students. The recommendation is my motion to move that the Board of Education approve changes to their approved 2025-2026 district calendar, changing December 23rd, 2025 to an early release day.
I second that
For a
motion.
second. Motion made by Ms. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Panos. And we'll have any questions are there any questions or comments
So,
from
I
you or
think-
Dr. or Ms. Batchelder?
This was just a simple, the color coding on the calendar to denote half-day and full days. So it was a oversight on our part, so we're just asking to make it a half-day, which will not cause an increase or a decrease to our number of days because half-days count as full days.
Any questions from board members? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Abstention, motion carries 900. Now we'll get to the acting superintendent's report. Dr. Hading?
Okay. So, our mobile classroom continues to make strong impact across the community. Since it's, I just wanted to provide some data. Ever since we launched it back in May, this is our first time really coming back with actual numbers to have the public see the impact and how many families, how many students have been touched. So since its launch earlier this year, the mobile classroom has brought learning opportunities directly to families through hands-on programs. Over the summer, we hosted 13 family STEM events. We participated in the back-to-school block party, the longest table, and connected with families at community events nights at different schools. This fall, the mobile classroom introduced 2 new programs, Literacy Launchpad and STEM Sessions. We have so far, up to this date, served over 118 students and their families. Each evening included 3 40-minute learning sessions where students and trusted adults learned side by side. I would like to remind the viewing audience and the public that the mobile classroom was funded by ESSER funds, and the operating costs of the mobile classroom are just part of our Windsor Public School after-school programming, such as clusters at the middle school, after-school clubs, and sports at the high school. So this is our way of providing after-school support for our elementary students. We are very fortunate to have some grants funding and also our sponsors that have sponsored our mobile classroom last year. So we are using some of that funding as well to fund our different initiatives. We are continuously seeking feedback from our families who participated in the tutoring sessions, and we've had actually been getting a lot of feedback, and that will be reflected in our November list of activities. So one of the feedback was 40 minutes was a little bit too long for elementary students, so we are going to go to 30-minute sessions. So that is an example of one of the feedback that we're going to be incorporating. Budget conversations are now underway among my cabinet members, and we're committed to fostering open and collaborative dialogue to uncover new and innovative ways in our fiscal planning. Complementing this internal process, I am also ensuring that stakeholder feedback is also part of this budget process. I will be hosting a series of coffee talks in November that are focused on the budget process. So Ms. Batchelder and I are going to be answering questions, getting feedback. So our November coffee talks are specifically geared towards our budget process to allow that feedback from our stakeholders. I will also provide the opportunity for all my staff to share input through a budget survey that I will be sending out later on this week. All data collected will be used to inform our final budget that we will be recommending to the school board. I held my October coffee talk today, actually, at the Senior Center, which was very, very nicely attended by our seniors. I was very excited. We had a lot of great conversations. It's very nice to see a different population attend the coffee talks, because as I started my coffee talk today, I said, you guys are investors, and as investors, you want to know about the return on your investment. And we had great conversation about what is the return on their investment. So it was nice to host it in a different, so thank you to our senior center that have hosted us today. I also want to give a very special thank to one of our own community members, Jamie Mays. He is the district Northeast director of Starbucks. He has provided the coffee today for our coffee talk, and he has also provided 2 really nice gift baskets from Starbucks that had cups, gift cards, coffee, and we had a really nice raffle, and 2 of our seniors were just beyond excited to win the raffle. So thank you for that collaboration. My next coffee talks are scheduled for Tuesday, November 11th at the LP boardroom right here at 6 p.m. and Thursday, November 13th in the Senior Center at 10:30 a.m. So again, I'm having 2 coffee talks in November, one in the afternoon and one in the morning, to allow all families, depending on their schedule, to have the chance to attend. Connecticut has adopted a new state-mandated school climate policy, and Windsor is preparing for full implementation. This marks a shift from strictly punitive approach to one grounded in restorative practices, an approach that focuses on prevention, building relationships, and helping students understand and repair harm. So I just want to be very clear, because that is a very, very common question, that this policy does not take away accountability. Serious offenses that endanger others, such as fighting or harassment or possession of a weapon, will still be addressed through our existing board policy. So expellable offenses are still going to be expellable offenses. Restorative practices don't replace consequences, they strengthen them by pairing accountability with reflection, learning, and the opportunity to make things right. Our goal is to keep schools safe while fostering empathy, responsibility, and a stronger sense of community for every student. Currently, our entire leadership team is going through an intensive training on school climate and restorative practice, which will then be gradually rolled over to our entire staff for hopefully full implementation by all our staff in all our schools next year. And finally, I would like to take this opportunity to extend my sincere thanks and appreciation to our 2 departing board members, Ms. Cantor and Mr. Fury. I appreciate the trust that you have put in me, and I appreciate your vote. And I wish you all the best as you continue to do great things that are not here. Thank you.
Next item, I believe, is the Windsor High Program of Studies.
Ready?
You can have a motion. I'm going to start with a motion.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Board of Education approve the Windsor High School Program of Studies 2026-2027 as a first reading.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Panos. And back to you, Dr. Haiti. I probably introduced Ms. Fudge, who's sitting here.
So we have with us Ms. Dana Fudge, and she will answer any questions on the program of study. As we do every year, we bring in additions, deletions, revisions to our program of study for our board approval, and Ms. Fudge can answer any questions.
And I think most of the changes are the ones that were highlighted.
Yes, exactly. So we have changes that we want to do as far as program study. There's I can't talk. Description updates, course title changes, maybe a level change, those sorts of things. So all those we will find underneath the section labeled changes. Yep. The additions are anything brand new that we want to bring into the program of studies, brand new course offerings for our students. We have several ECE classes that we want to bring forward. And then our deletions are classes that we want to remove from the program of studies, and that's for a variety of different reasons, whether it's they have not been run in like 3 or more years, there's just not as popular as some of our current courses that students are taking. Some of the newer things have kind of taken the place of these courses, so they're more relevant to the things that our students are interested in. So our program and study is pretty robust and very huge with a lot of courses, and so we're just trying to clean up by deleting those courses that we know are not running. They're just not being chosen by our students, you know, and there's different interests by them, different interests by our staff of what they want to teach, so. But the changes are the bigger things that just need some updating, whether, like I said, we are updating their course descriptions or we are updating the titles to be, you know, more relevant. So any questions anyone has, I'm glad to answer.
So I'll look to my left and right here. Mr. Panos, do you want to start?
Just a few brief things. I think page 8, you say, you have geometry. Let's say, the college level will be removed, it says. Where's the math? Is that correct? Somewhere here, it was.
So actually, Mr. Panos, I can answer that for you. It's not that we're trying to get rid of the college level geometry. That statement that you're referring to actually goes with the pre-calculus. So I think the way that it was printed out, it didn't stay with pre-calculus. Okay. So every statement above a subject pertains to that subject underneath it. So the statement you're looking at as far as dropping the college level, that is not in regards to geometry, that's in regards to pre-calculus.
Okay.
Yes.
And, now, you did mention all the courses that are there. There are about 27 courses that are being eliminated. Some of them are pretty significant, like AP Physics, AP Computer Science, Principles, and British Lit, U.S. Military History. Is it because, do we not have, is it strictly interest, or is there some other reason? Do we not have people who can teach or these?
Most of it has to do with student interests. So the students' interests have changed as far as what they would like to take. So a lot of our courses that run are based on student interests, and then that is how we formulate the sections of courses that we will offer from one year to the next year. So we just aren't getting students that are interested in those particular courses. The numbers are extremely low. So we're running the more popular courses, our courses that our kids are actually requesting. So these are courses that have not run for years. Some of them, you know, have not run for a significant amount of years. So we're removing them because we've replaced a lot of them with more relevant things that our kids want to take now.
I see. So, well, how small a class would constitute too small to run a class?
So we typically try not to run courses that only have maybe single digits or even in the teens. So we're looking for our higher, more, like I said, more courses the kids are interested in, usually where it's 20 kids or more in a class. We typically run those. Some of our AP classes may fall under 20, but we're still looking to have hopefully at least 12 to 15 kids in that class. And in an AP, that's not a bad number to have because of the rigor of that particular course. But a lot of these courses either aren't getting any requests whatsoever, or like I said, it may be 2 or 3 kids interested in taking it, and we're not gonna run that course over another course where there's a higher percentage of kids wanting to take.
And I just want to also add that it also depends on the teacher load. So sometimes depending on the number of FTEs that we have and the number of core classes that we have to have to offer, so all of this plays into if a teacher who's certified to teach a certain course has place in her or his schedule to offer this course or not. So sometimes it's not just the enrollment, is that because of what we have to offer first, some of these electives, we don't have the FTE to cover those electives.
Yes, absolutely. We have to make sure we're meeting the graduation requirements
Requirement first, yes.
So,
Also, a lot of these courses, like all the child development courses, all of these courses are no longer, this is a pathway that no longer exists at the high school. So, yes, I know.
child
we were,
development thing?
we were not able to staff that pathway for a very long time, and was budget decisions year over year, we had to get rid of that pathway, but we have replaced it with another pathway that is very, very popular, which is our medical emergencies and medical sciences.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, okay, I mean, how did something like, AP Physics 2 E&M, electricity and magnet, how did it come in, by popularity? I mean, how would you, I recall, we used to have kids in that, that would be reported not too many years ago, but I guess it were small classes, that's.
We also have 2 other AP courses in physics that we offer.
Right.
So there was 3 AP physics courses, so the first 2 were more popular than this particular one. So our kids were gravitating to the other 2, which is AP Physics 1 and AP Physics 2. So they were not signing up to take this particular one. So with 3 offerings of a physics class, we decided this would be the best one to remove at this time.
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Taylor?
Just a quick thing, as soon as he said AP Computer Science, was going away. But I know my daughter, she ended up taking the ECE Computer Science, so it just made sense to take that instead of the AP.
Absolutely.
Because of the college credit piece. So it's just another reason why kids are being a more strategic.
Absolutely.
In the offerings there. Absolutely.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you.
Yes, I think we have one.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Halleck. Didn't see that. Mr. Halleck.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a comment, I'm really excited to see the personal finance course, as a addition. I think that's gonna be very helpful for students as they go forward into adulthood. I definitely wish that was a course, when I was in school that we had, because budgeting and stuff is not something that's really taught, until much later on, so thank you so much for that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and it is a graduation requirement for students to have a financial literacy class, so.
And I remember being on the governance council with Ms. Taylor and hearing from parents saying that should be a required course. My kid got out of here, one of my students got out of here a year or 2 ago, and they don't know what they're doing with their money in college and everything. And actually, I had a friend whose son was in college and just this past year and had a little problem using credit cards. So I'm wondering if he didn't have that class then. Yeah.
Probably not.
Don't do it, right? Just say no. Oh, wait, that was the old days. Thank you very much.
Actually, you have another question.
Sorry. Jeez.
Okay, it's
Coming
okay.
out of the woodwork. Yes,
It's all right. So I was looking
Mr. Wollaston.
I was looking in the music section. Oh, sorry, thank you, Mr. President. And I noticed the change from that recording tech class to being half year. Is that still going to be offered at like recording tech 2? Is that still a full year course?
Absolutely, yes. So we're changing the recording tech to a semester course and offering it also to 9th graders because we're hoping to increase their enrollment in that class so that the part 2 can grow.
Okay. And my other question would just be about the jazz ensemble and the other band class that's there. Can you just explain the credit change?
So the credit change is a result of an issue that came up this past school year regarding equity. So that is particularly the only class that has the extra 0.5 credit added to it. No other course has that as an option. And so any student that is taking that course pretty much has the upper hand. And when it comes to the GPA and so forth, their class rank as well. So that increases their chances of earning more quality points GPA. So that's what it is, an equity issue.
And if I can just add, so this, like you said, this is the only class that has a 0.4 additional attached to it. And I wasn't around when this actually happened, but when I did some research and come to find out that the .4 additional credit was added because of the requirement that students are attending like after-school events, like games and things like that. Well, we do have other students who do attend after-school event to do different things, whether it's, choir or when we had creative movement, we had our dance team. So it became it became an issue that how do you measure? So if you have students who don't attend every single after-school event, are we taking away the .4 from them? Of course, we're not, because we don't have a system to say every event is like .02. So it becomes very hard to track, and it gets us in situations where students are at different disadvantages depending on if they are in this class or not.
And so those classes, the students aren't required to do the after-school?
Well, so if they are part of the jazz ensemble and, they have an event after school, they are required to attend the event. However, there are some kids who might not be able to attend, right? So my point is, we don't go after kid by kid to say you didn't attend 1 or 2 events, we're gonna take away the additional credit. So we're granting credit for things outside of the school day, when this is really not anywhere in our policy, and we don't do that with anything else. Because otherwise, robotics can say, well, we attend a lot of after-school events. Why can computer science not have this additional .2 or .4? So it's just as an effort to make sure that all our courses are equitable, and we don't get in a situation where it's an issue between students ranking.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? I guess you're free.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. So I think we're back to, didn't vote on that, correct? The motion was to approve the Windsor High School Program of Studies as a first reading. Motion was made by Ms. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Panos. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstentions? Motion carries 9-0-0. Next item is curriculum development as a first reading.
All right, I will call Dr. Martinez and Ms. Maines, our STEM and Humanities Supervisor at the high school.
I'm going to have to start with first Ms. Taylor with a motion.
I'll provide some background for the listening public. The following curriculum was presented at the Board of Education curriculum meeting on September 22nd, 2025, and October 6th, 2025. Had to do a two-parter, y'all. The curriculum committee is bringing this curriculum to the full board for a first reading. In geometry, English seminar, aka English 12, human geography, global studies, sports and society, film to literature, voices under fire, literature, censorship and advocacy, African American literature, and leaving your legacy. The recommendation, move that the board approve the geometry, English seminar, English 12, human geography, global studies, sports and society, film to literature, voices under fire, literature, censorship and advocacy, African American literature, and leaving your legacy curriculum as a first reading.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Panos, and we have our staff here for questions that board members may have. I know a number of questions were submitted today by Mr. Panos, and those
So everybody should have a copy. I've
members
placed a
should have
copy
of those.
of the questions on your list. Dr. Martinez and Ms. Maines can answer any additional questions or elaborate on anything that needs more
And
elaboration.
again, this is a first reading, so after tonight, if there are further questions other than here, or still questions on at least the ones that Mr. Panos had submitted, feel free again to submit them, but try to submit them as early as possible, so if any of them will take research, that we can get answers before the next meeting. Mr. Lockhart?
What I want to say is thank you to the development of curriculum. It's still my understanding that it's being developed on the summer and that it's worked on by all levels of the school. And there's buy-in from all levels, and then it's brought to the committee. Just want to say thank you. I listened in on both calls. Both calls were very lengthy with a lot of information. I wish I could have participated, but I'm not a member of the committee. No, it's no
Is there a
problem.
committee you're not on? Oh, my goodness. Well, you said he can't be on it. Just kidding to the audience here.
No, that's not a joke. But I just want to say that Windsor Public Schools, we've been creating our own curriculum for years now, and it's a pleasure of work that the entire staff really get behind at all building levels to bring this curriculum forth and really try to update it instead of going and buying a program off the shelf or doing something that's going to broad stroke the whole district. Every staff member has buy-in on what the curriculum looks like and how it should be implemented. So I just want to say, Dr. Haiti, through you and Madam Chair, and thank you for everything you've done with this. There's some exciting courses that you are presenting. I wish I was about 40 years younger again and I have an opportunity to take this, but I will force my high school junior to push through some of these and torture her just a little while longer before she leaves. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Other comments or questions? Mr. Wollaston.
Yes, I just wanted to first say, I don't know if it's a real statement or not, but I think the best educators are the best students, and I'm pretty impressed with the turnaround that you guys have had on these late game questions and the depth that you answer them all in, so thank you for that. And on top of just building on what Mr. Lockhart said, 1,400 hours, 1,400 plus hours, I'm sure it was a little bit more than that, is a pretty amazing feat, so just thank you for your dedication. I do recall sitting through the committee meetings, just being very impressed with all you guys, all the work you guys put in over the summer, so thank you so much.
Other comments or questions? Who has? Mr. Lockhart, again,
Yes.
no, there were no other questions.
Oh, I guess through you, Mr. President, I would ask if since these questions have been answered for Mr. Panos, I was going to ask through you, is Mr. Panos open to waiving the second reading and passing these through, or are we going to push these to the next board?
Mr. Panos?
No, I generally do not want to
Okay.
waive the second reading.
Not a problem.
Okay. I also want to say that I was very impressed with the presentations in the curriculum committee meeting, and as Mr. Lockhart indicated, there were so many of the classes, the semester classes that I'd want to take. I don't know what the students are going to do when there's so many options there. Is there a chance a student can take two?
Semester,
Possible or no?
like which
Two-
courses?
If they have, some options still in their schedule, could they take two semester English
Like
courses?
electives?
Two electives,
Yes.
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 Okay. So that's good.
Yeah.
Leonard, if you have time, you can take a couple.
You got time.
I have. Jill and I will be taking.
Between cleaning out
Which one would you want to take for? I guess take a couple.
visiting patients.
Okay, without further questions, the motion's been made and seconded to approve the curriculum development as a first reading. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstention, motion carries 900.
Mr. Fury, can I just say one thing? I just want to publicly acknowledge and give credit where credit is due. Dr. Martinez and Ms. Maynes have done an incredible job working with their teams in developing these courses. And I also want to mention Dr. Feynman. She's not with us tonight, but Dr. Feynman has done an incredible job leading our humanities and STEM work at the secondary level to get these quality courses. If you look at the curriculum documents, they are definitely a different level of work that we've ever done before in Windsor. So thank you so much, Dr. Martinez and Ms. Maynes.
I'd just like to say, before you go filling up your schedule with all English and social studies courses, math is going to have some more options next year. So, yeah, I just got to throw that out there. And science has lots of electives, too.
Thank you.
Okay. I think we'll start with before we have a discussion, the policy motion.
Recognizing me.
Oh, you, yeah.
For background for the listening public, the Board of Education Policy Committee reviewed the following policies at their meeting on October 9th, 2025. The committee is bringing the following policies to the full board as a first reading, and thus my motion to move that the Board of Education approve the revised policy 3542.43, meal charging, policy 4311.2, family and medical leave, policy 5118.1, homeless children and youth, policy 5131.911, renamed Connecticut School Climate, policy 5141.21, administering medications, policy 5145, policy regarding students, and section 504, the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, and Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, and policy 6172.2, policy addressing enrollment in an advanced course or program and challenging curriculum as a first reading, waiving the second reading, and approving the policies for immediate use and distribution. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Can you read all those again? No. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Panos.
Mr. President,
Yes,
may I offer a substitute motion?
okay.
I move that we adopt as a first reading, the policies listed 2 through 7. And I would like to have meal charging pulled as a separate motion.
Okay, what was the first one?
So right now, the motion on the floor is to, adopt all 7 as presented. Meal charging, needs to be pulled
Okay.
for a separate vote.
And is there another one that was a separate vote, or is that?
Just the mill charging. Everything else is, I would like to be part of the initial first reading motion.
Does that require a second?
It does.
As your parliamentarian, Mr. Panos?
Well, we'll be asking questions on all of them.
All of them.
Right? I thought that would,
So my motion is to pull one because, there's one of these that if we leave them all clumped together, there's somebody that may feel like they're against one of them. So it's gonna force them to vote no for all of them, even though they're in support of all the other ones.
oh,
So then,
okay,
couldn't you call them separately?
So we're gonna.
No,
first-
so, Mr. President, just for clarity, I'm not seeking to call them separately. The only one I'm pulling is for mill charging. I want that to be pulled from for consideration, and we're gonna consider 2 through 7.
As a
We're
first
gonna-
reading.
As a first reading, and then once that's disposed of, then, I will put a motion, or Madam Vice President can put the motion on the floor to have a discussion for the mill charging policy.
Hold a second for a question. Question. So
Ms. Taylor?
the motion that was on the floor was, as a first reading, waiving the second reading. So what you just said was that it's as a first reading. You didn't mention the waiving the second reading, so I just want to make sure that we're clear that 2 through 7, are we saying waiving the second hearing? Reading.
What I'm saying is, I would like for us to discuss 2 through 7 as a second motion as presented. And then we'll go back and do number 1 as a separate motion, whether it's first reading, second reading, or whatever. That's gonna be a totally separate motion.
But the first motion continues the fact that it would be waiving the second.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Okay, further discussion on this motion?
okay, as I understand, we have the waiving rolled right into this first? We don't.
No,
No, we don't.
Yes, it is, because some of them are already in place by the state.
Oh, waiving.
That,
Can I, okay, so, and correct me if I'm wrong, so 2 to 7 are strictly law. There's nothing we can really discuss here. It's the
Correct,
law,
okay.
we have to do that.
Good.
Policy number 1, or bullet 1, is an internal policy that we can discuss and you can make different recommendations. So I think this is the idea behind waiving the second reading, because everything else is law.
That's correct.
Okay.
Was there a second to that? I apologize.
It is right there, waving a second. Was there a
There's
second?
a second now.
Who seconded?
Mr. Williston.
Oh, got it.
Nathan did.
All right.
Okay.
So motion was made by Mr.
It's a substitute motion.
Substitute motion by Mr. Lockhart, seconded by Mr. Wollaston. So the discussion is on the policies 2 through 7, which, again, we've heard are really required by law, and these were prepared for us by Shipman and Goodwin, isn't that correct?
That's correct.
And we had the discussion at the policy committee meeting that Mr. Wollaston chaired.
With the understanding that it's a first reading and we're waiving the second reading.
Correct.
May-
Mr. Panos?
Question. If there is one of the 7 that someone thinks can be added to without contradicting the required one, can that be taken care of in this first motion?
So we were advised by legal counsel that when policies are made by Shipman and Goodwin, like to address the new laws, that we don't add anything, because it does put the district in a position where we might end up in a bad position because we add things that we're not very well versed in. So the law, we take the law, Shipman creates the model policy, and we adopt the policy as is to make sure that we're really sticking to the law.
Okay, so
And maybe another alternative, if you
another, a second,
agree,
you mean
would be that we send whatever concerns you have to the policy committee
Yes.
to look at, to see can we add them, but at least we'll be in compliance with the current law.
okay.
Because some things could be added like as maybe in an AR, or maybe as part of like the student handbook, depending on what you're really talking about. It doesn't have to be living in a policy.
Well, what I'm referring to specifically is the family.
Why don't you say what,
Yeah, all right.
which one is it?
Family and medical leave, I believe, Ms. Cantor might have some comments about that.
I did, but, Ms. Nurse DeNegris answered my question on that, on the medication administration.
Okay, all right, you see, took care of it right away.
Okay.
Thank you.
Before, thank you.
Look at this, your last action, possibly your last action as a board member.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Julie.
And thank you.
So any other further discussion? The substitute motion on the floor is to approve items 2 through 7 with waiving the second reading.
That's correct.
All those in favor, say,
Okay. Just a discussion, just a question. The Connecticut school climate, which replaces the bullying, and appears to have a lot more to it in the way of staff time. Can you give us, I mean, just looking at it, it looks quite a bit more involved. Yes, yeah, there's all sorts of things that have to be, done. The rest, it's not just simple restorative justice, there's a whole list of things. You have committees and all that sort of thing. The question is, can you detail for us, or maybe not now, it's just what kind of time this adds, if anything?
So I just want to point out that the prior
Bullying?
policy, there's 2 prior policies. So one is the bullying, and then the other one is the safe school climate and security, safety, and school climate policy. So this is not adding more work. It's taking half of the security, safety, school climate policy, taking the school climate policy out of the safety and security, and putting it into another policy.
Okay.
So all of the meetings, all of the same type of school climate committee meetings have always taken place, should have always taken place, and will always take place moving forward. It's just parsed out, if you will.
Thank you.
any other questions? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstention, motion carries 900. The The next motion is Mr. Lockhart.
Move that the Board of Education approved revised policy 3542-43, meal charging, as a first reading.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Lockhart, seconded by Mr. Panos. Who would like to start off a discussion, if any, here? Mr. Williston?
I'll yield to you since you're the chair.
Yes, so, understanding that this is a pretty contentious issue and, a serious problem we have, and especially, this budget cycle, coming from a space of just having done revaluation and the ramifications that our budget as an entire town is gonna have to deal with because of that, as well as various other things that we're going through from a leadership structure. Just me personally, I guess it's a hill I'll die on, even if I die alone, I'm sorry. But I just don't believe in creating any sort of punitive measure or barrier because of or food or between access and food. Just me as a person, again, it's really personal to me, and this is why I'm voting this way. I'm the type of person, if I see a homeless man on the side of the street, last $20, we're walking into Subway, you'll get your little sub or whatever you want from the fountain. It's not a big burden to me. But just thinking about our position here, I would like to say to any family who may be hearing the sound of my voice, understanding that they are able to pay for their lunch and they're choosing to forego that, shame on you, because you're putting us in a position to have to possibly take things away from people who really don't have it, because there are people who are house poor. There are people who are able to make it just into this town, pay that mortgage, and there's not really much left. And sometimes some families are only able to provide the lunch that this school provides for their student on some weeks. So I would really just sum it up all to say that the position of my heart is to not go forth with this, although I do understand the fiscal implications of why many people would like to support this. I myself will not be voting in support of this motion.
Other questions or comments in the discussion? Mr. Lockhart.
Yeah, thank you. I want to bring them, that's why, for the listening public, I want to split this out because Mr. Williston, as the chair, brings forth the matters to discuss, and he was very, very adamant on this particular piece. It is a fiscal burden on the district. It seems like that one of the easiest way to solve it is to just provide lunch and breakfast for all of our children universally throughout the whole state, or even within our own district. But it's creating a stress and strain upon the district where I believe last month we reported we're already in the red with lunch balances right now. And we really can't settle that until at the end of the fiscal year. And that account has to be zero. That's a bill that has to be paid no matter what. We have a moral responsibility to feed every single child within our district, no matter what the discussion about the food, the quantity or quality, or based off your preference. That's a totally different discussion. We're just talking about morally feeding children and making sure that the school district is covering that. It's a true cost. And I'm in favor of making sure we're feeding kids. We've been lobbying the State Department of Education. I do believe at the last State Board of Education meeting, they approved, I believe, about, I think, $2.5 million additional funding to help districts. This is a situation that every district in the state is facing right now, especially if it's a district where they have kids that they have to pay for lunch. If you're in a district where you're getting free lunch, this is not an issue at all because everything is being paid for. That's not the case here in Windsor because Windsor is perceived as a town with the ability to pay. So we do have people that have to pay for lunch and we have people that don't pay for lunch. So this is an issue that we're going to have to discuss as a town. We may have to put some recommendations forth where we want to feed the kids, or we find funding from the state to make this happen. But I do respect Mr. Wilson's position on this particular piece. It is punitive, but at the same time, if there's documentation or data suggesting that that it's a sect of individuals that have the ability to pay and just not paying, then that's totally wrong in itself. At the end of the day, as a board member, I personally want every single child fed. And if I had my way, it would come out of the budget, whether it's our budget, town budget, state budget, I don't care where it comes from. They should get breakfast, they should get lunch. If we're requiring them to be there 6-7 hours a day, we should be appropriately feeding them. So I stand with Mr. Willison on his stance, that this is, be a further discussion, and I will be in full support of whatever Mr. Willison states. That is his position, and we should support him in that.
Before I get to Mr. Williston, is anybody for the first time around have a comment or question?
Well,
Mr. Panos.
I'll just comment that if a person doesn't have the ability to pay, they're eligible for free and reduced lunch, so they can get free lunch. So this is pretty well straight up. There's no issue here. I don't know why you're making an issue of it, that the town should be paying everybody's meals. One of the obligations of any responsible citizen is to pay for their children's lunches. You know, even they should be paying for them all. I mean, I don't recall, you know, ever having this given to, you know, my generation, and which was a lot poorer. So, you know, this is a basic obligation, and it's something which is transmitted to the children. You know, if the parent doesn't fulfill their obligation, then this is something that's just passed on. This is not good. And so you know, part of our charge is to build character, and that's part of character. And if you wish to reach into your pocket and give something away charitably, that's charity. But taxing people is the use of force to take from one to give to another. That is a forcible taking, and that's not charity. It's a very strange way to look at things. So I would say that this is an excellent suggestion, because it says, you know, what we're calling for, or the administration is suggesting, is that, you know, anything that costs money, and in addition, if you owe money, you really should pay your basic costs first before you pay money to go to a field trip or a school dance or something like this. So it's really, it's not forcing anything. We're still compelled. We may end up, just because people choose not to pay, you know. And so when they changed the law, they didn't take that into account, and they said that, as I understand, that the meal cannot just be a simple one, like peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which was the way it was just a few years ago and forever back. So people didn't starve. That's an alternative, you know, something. But if you're going to give the full meal, which is much more costly, is going to end up being forcibly taken from people who don't pay their taxes. That's not what it's for. And there's an issue of character and if you will, social emotional learning. So I'm very much in favor of this. This is all we can't do much more. So, but because the law constrains it. So I'm much in favor of this. Thank you.
Anybody else the first time? Ms. Sauter.
And just a question, and not sure if we know the answer for this, but is there any deterrent that would prevent people from wanting to potentially fill out the forms for the free or reduced lunch, which may be why they're not doing that? I'm just trying to, you know, get the full
Let's see
picture.
if Danielle looks like she might want to try to answer that.
Yeah,
Ms. Batchelder?
Thank you. So, we are very proactive with trying to reach the families that need to fill the information out. We begin to do it at the food service level, department, excuse me, just by email. And then once the family gets past a certain point, we reach out to the schools, because the schools, the principal, the school social worker, the psych knows those families 10 times better than anyone in central office, and knows probably what's going on in the home, because they've already been talking. So
and offer one, how to fill it out. They can come in, we can help them fill it out, we could do it with them side by side. We have all those options in the district. And I just want to point out that this was never this significant until COVID hit, until the government paid 100% for all meals. This became astronomical over the past year and a half, to the tune of $90,000 last school year that was not budgeted, had to come out of the general fund. And we made, all the principals are sitting here. I made phone calls. I made phone calls to our staff members that were sitting there with delinquent bills for their kids. And it was an eye-opener when they got a call from me. That check was in my hand very quickly. And so that's why I'm like, I do believe there are absolutely people that cannot pay, and we do everything that we can to get them in to help them. But if you were, which we can't show you, but if you were to see the names on the list, I don't believe 100% of that is ability, because we see them around, and it's not, they're paying for the dances. They're paying the $500, $1,000 to go to Cape Cod, so the proms. And then so what happens is they realize, I don't pay my bill all school year. Next year rolls around, that balance is zero. So why should I pay it? And so, and that's where we are, because of it showed zero for so many years after COVID. But now we don't get that reimbursement from the Fed, so it has to come from our general fund. And just the month of September alone, we're already at $10,000 in debt. And it's a huge burden on all of the schools, because they're pulling to make these calls when they could, the social workers, the principals, the psychs should be with our students, working with them, not making phone calls regarding this. So that's where this comes from. I know it's a tough conversation.
Mr. Madison?
Yeah, so I grew up pretty poor, right? And not extremely poor, because we were on the Women, Infants, and Children program. My parents got the Earned Income Tax Credit, either my single mom or her second marriage. And we were in HUD-controlled rent housing. She would show her pay stubs to the rental office, and we would get a lower amount. But we weren't dirt poor. I know this because we weren't on food stamps, and we didn't qualify for free lunch, right? So we knew who the poor kids were. There's a hierarchy of poverty among the kids, and we knew who it was. Nobody cared. But one of the things my mother always taught me is to follow the rules. That's your obligation, to take care of what you commit to. Now, if you don't like the rules, change them, right? I'm actually closer to where Leonard is. I wouldn't support it either, but giving everyone free lunches, I have issues with that. But at least that would be following the rules. But right now, we have people not following the rules. And if I told my mom that I came home and I said, okay, I'm poor, Mom, so I stole this, that would not be acceptable. So for me, this is an issue of rules. And so I will strongly support this, and I appreciate the creativity of the administration in creating this.
Mr. Halleck?
Thank you. A question and then a comment. Okay. Our families are taking advantage of coming to you guys and applying for reduced lunch and all that.
Yes, they absolutely are. And we definitely have our families that, apply every year and get it, no questions asked. Because we first thought maybe it's just the, not knowing how to fill out the form. So we just put a ton of resources into that. And, and it's interesting because once, December, January, March hits, and we're still now we start really beefing up the phone calls. The comment back is, I never saw that email. But so the system that we have actually tracks if you open it or not, and they all open it. Like, we can actually go in and see. It's not like the read receipt that it just, if you click on, it actually shows that you opened the email. But then they're saying, oh, I didn't see it. And then some are just paying it. It's like, oh, okay, they got, they're really bugging me, so now I'm going to pay the bill. It's just, But by time, you know, all these days and months go by, then this bill is so astronomical. It is it's hard to pay at that point because you're in the couple hundreds dollars. I mean, we have like $800, $900 a kid. And if that family has multiple kids, that's times however many kids are in the district. So yes, I mean, to answer your question, yes, we definitely give all the resources to help fill out the forms out.
Yeah,
And
thank
many
you for
take
that.
advantage of it.
And obviously, you know, these penalties, or whatever you want to call them, go into effect after 30 meals that haven't been paid. I think that's, you know, more than a fair number, because as Ms. Batchelder said, you know, this can get up to, you know, the $700-800 range or more, you know, for multiple students. So, you know, I think it's, I think it's fair at this point. I think it's, unfortunately, it's the position that we're in, and we kind of have to do this. So at this point, you know, I'll be in support of the policy.
Ms. Taylor, and then hopefully then Mr. Wallace.
Sorry. So, okay, I've shared with, you know, in our executive committee and, you know, with the cabinet and the team when I was first like hearing what's going on with everything, and I didn't grow up poor, at all. And that's a blessing, but I did grow up with a single mom who never qualified for anything. So, so it all balances out. When we were on the governance council for the high school several years ago, and through COVID, food insecurity came up a lot. Nathan and I had to sit through some really hard conversations with Dr. Parker and the team about, you know, how we can make things equitable and things like that. And then, you know, the blessing of having access to food for all of the kids was great. As a parent with 2 kids in, you know, in the system, it was really great to have, you know, free lunch for once, because I'd never had that before. I know as a learned person, I know as a woman that's been on the board for quite some time, you know, I had the app. And when it kicked back in, I forgot to go back in, and we switched apps. I got this letter, and I said, ooh, I'm not feeding my kids. And then they explained it to me. Oh, no, the kids are still eating, because they didn't tell me. I was like, are you eating? Chloe's like, yes, what are you talking about? And I'm like, we're in the negative. Is she okay? Oh, okay, I hope she's okay. So I just share that is that, you know, just miscommunication and not knowing what you don't know. Oh, it's a new app, the whole thing, and then I had to go in and clean it up. But I'm telling you, that little letter embarrassed me. So, so I'm sharing that, that some folks, yes, of course, some folks are gonna try to get over, some folks are gonna, you know, try to say, oh, well, they didn't notice yet, but that letter is like saying they about to come from my house, that for me anyway. And so I paid it, because thank goodness I can. I also want us to be clear about that small sect of people that are just right there. I looked up how much I'd have to make to get free and reduced lunch. I'd have to have like 8 kids. God is so good. But I share that because of the fact that people can be right there and be house poor, to Mr. Chairman's point. You could be right there. You could be everybody, for me anyway, I've been the working poor. I've been, you know, if I don't have a job, it's going to get really, really tight, things like that. So I also want us to be understanding, and some of these policies and A&Rs and everything are so blanketly stated that when we have the exceptions to the rules, it doesn't give us wiggle room. So I'm not going to assume what you're saying, but we've had a lot of conversations about this, because during COVID, we found out some kids weren't ever eating. We found out some families right here in Windsor didn't have it. And I know it looks like we have the ability to pay, but again, things are tight for some people. And sometimes, back to my original point, you get that letter in the mail and you're embarrassed, right? So I just want to just be careful and clear about those families that to pick up the phone and act like they saw it, how embarrassing that could feel. So that's.
Mr. Wollaston.
Whew, finally. Oh, okay, jeez. I just wanted to say, I don't think like any ill will of this being brought forward to us. I completely understand we have like a serious situation that we have to deal with. I just wanted to state, to clarify, like, it is a real issue and we are looking for solutions. But I just feel like for me, it would be dishonest of me having been the person who a few years ago said, how much would it cost us to do free lunch for everybody? Got the number, it was in the millions. I was like, well, we can't do that. So it's like, 90K, I'm personally, that's a win. That's a win for me. I'm not going to lie. And if you're not paying for your lunch, hear that and don't hear that, because I think that is it's a pretty disrespectful thing to do if you can pay for it and not pay for your lunch, because now there is a punitive measure. And I was a kid, so I'm one of 10 kids. My parents had 10 kids together. Certain field trips in Windsor, I never asked my parents to go on. I just never asked them to go. DC, Cape Cod, I just didn't ask to go on them, you know, because I'm the 8th kid. I already know they have more than enough to deal with. So it's like, when I'm hearing this, it's not the situation I was in, but it's kind of like, I already knew, like, mom and dad got a lot going on. I'm not going to even worry about asking them about however many hundred of dollars for Cape Cod or for DC. So just with that mindset and my background, it would be very hard for me to support something like this. It's not that I don't understand why it's being brought before me this way, just for who I am and the way I was brought up, it would be hard to support it.
Mr. Lockhart.
Thank you very much. So, man, spot on. So, for me, I grew up poor. I know what hunger is like. I know what it's like to be cold. I know what it's like to have like one pair of jeans, 2 T-shirts, and a sweater, and that's what I rock with in the winter. So I understand these struggles. So now that I've evolved and I have the ability to pay, even in the face of my current storm right now, I want to make sure that every single child is fed. How do we get there? That's the work of this board that we're going to do. I'm not a fan of the punitive measures, but I understand why the policy has to be put in place. I truly understand that, but I also believe to get rid of the punitive, I believe we need to look at the bigger picture of how do we take care of everybody. Me personally, I can only speak for me, as a cheerful taxpayer, I want to make sure that every single child, our seniors, everyone is fed. That's just a basic right that everyone should be able to eat on a consistent basis. And we have children that we send backpacks home with in a very, very discreet and respectable way. We send backpacks home to families when they're on extended vacations or over the weekends and stuff like that. That's just a basic responsibility that I think that I should have at this dais based off of my personal experience, how I was raised, and I've been blessed with a certain amount of measure to give to others. So this is not judgmental to anybody else. I will always, always, always push for our kids being fed through our budget. And that's just one less thing to Ms. Taylor's point, where working poor have that little brief relief where those dollars can go somewhere else, that instead of worrying about a school lunch or trying to help these kids brown bag it. So I'm hoping that at some point we can have some collective dialogue where we're not going down the path of the punitive, but I truly understand why we're on that path, and we have a responsibility as board members to correct that. So I do understand.
Anyone else want to speak to this? I'm going to speak to it then. It's a first reading, and I am going to support the motion. And even though it is punitive, it really is probably I guess it's really all we can do, and it doesn't really go that far. if kids have to miss a few trips or whatever. The majority of, if they're on free and reduced price lunch, then this doesn't affect them. One thing the board may want to do before the next vote or down the road is to explore, as I think has been suggested, some other options. I know the Hunger Action Team has asked, several people have asked me, what can we do? We'd like to pay some balances. They didn't know that we really couldn't collect all the money. But that doesn't mean that we still shouldn't be looking at organizations that want to step up and voluntarily do that, or individuals who want to step up. I would be great also in the next month or so, we'll have the CABE convention, I know at the end of November, to be asking other districts. Obviously, Bloomfield, all their meals are taken care of. Windsor Locks, all the meals are taken care of. Hartford, all the meals are taken care of. So we're kind of in, because we've been judged having the ability to pay, and maybe that needs to be explored. You know, where are we on that line of how close do we get to a Windsor Locks or Bloomfield? But I think exploring and trying also to find out, maybe working with social services, how do we encourage more people who may qualify to get on, and what can social services help with us? I know the meals, the weekend wheels program, we were very surprised how many people signed up right away. So there are quite a number of people who are, again, discreetly, used to be the kids took these home, now they're delivered. So there's not that stigmatism of, oh, you're taking that home, you know. And 90,000 is a big amount of money. I mean, that's a staff person, or possibly 2 paras or a para and a half. Don't we want those for our kids to support learning? Don't we want those in our budget? And maybe we can have both. I don't know. But in some ways, Jill and I will be out of that conversation. So for now, I will support this going forward as a first reading. I don't know if I was on a board, what ends up happening. Maybe there's some changes to it, how I would vote down the road. If there's no other comments, I'd ask for a roll call vote on this. And this is a first reading. And people, correct me, Mr. Lockhart, people can comment on their vote, is correct?
Yes, and it'll be verbatim.
All right, Mr. Fury,
I get to go first. And my reason is it's because it is a first reading and gives us opportunity to look at other alternatives before a second reading.
Mr. Halleck,
Yes.
Mr. Lockhart,
I vote yes, and I want to make sure that we find ways that we can remove the punitive portion of it, and we provide free meals, both breakfast and lunch for our kids.
Mr. Madison,
On behalf of those who know the pride that comes with following the rules, I vote yes.
sorry, memory is not serving me. Ms. Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Wollaston,
No.
Ms. Otter,
Yes.
six yes, 2 no. Oh, I'm sorry. I am sorry, Mr. Panos.
Yes, because there are alternatives already available, and people should learn how to deal with their problems when alternatives are already available.
So, why are my numbers not numbering? sorry, 6-2?
No, 7-1.
Sorry.
710, correct, yeah.
7-1, right?
7-1.
Yeah.
7-1.
Sorry about that.
7-1. Yep.
So the motion carries 7-1. Next item on the agenda is committee reports. Ms. Taylor, is there anything else to add to curriculum?
No, thanks for hanging in. It was 2 long meetings, but awesome meetings, and thank you, Dr. Haiti, Dr. Feynman, the entire team. We're blown away by all the work that's done, but we shouldn't be having anything come up soon because we did all that.
And I'm looking for a motion, Ms. Taylor, on long range.
So for background, the Long Range Planning Committee has created a project plan for a cost-benefit study to assess the current state, future needs, and potential options, including renovation, consolidation, and new construction for the town's elementary school facilities. The elementary school buildings are assets owned by the town, and initiating this essential cost-benefit study requires the commitment and appropriation of funds, which must be reviewed and authorized by the town council. The current status. The Long Range Planning Committee met on September 9th, 2025 to discuss the potential of a cost-benefit study project plan for the 4 district elementary schools. This topic was moved to the whole board for discussion. Recommendation. I move the Board of Education approve the project plan for the elementary school benefit cost and elementary school building cost benefit study, my gosh, as presented, sending it to the town council for review.
Is there a second?
Second.
We'll have to keep those initials, CBS, right? Aren't those, we'll be hearing a lot about those. Motion made by Ms. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Panos. I'd like to pass this to Tracy as Chair of Long Range Planning for some comments and discussion.
Yes, so really quick, and I understand that in my excitement, sometimes I might get some words jumbled. So just again, to really reiterate what we're trying to do here, the project plan is a first draft, shall we say. We cannot do anything, engage in facility studies without talking to the town council. So really all we're trying to do is say, we feel that there is a need to do a robust assessment to understand the current state of our facilities, to understand the impact of potential future enrollment and occupancy, and we would like to engage in some assessments that could lend themselves to a cost-benefit study depending on what they find. So the project plan that in the packet that, we got for the long range planning, that is an outline that is going to go through many iterations before we get to a place where we're saying, yes, this is what we want to do, but we can't do anything until we agree as a board that we want to understand the state of our buildings and understand the financial impact that maintaining the buildings really has from a CIP perspective and for long-range budgeting. I again want to just say that this process, just to do the assessments, is going to take months. We wouldn't even have an idea of which path to take for a comparison of what to do for probably 6 to 8 months, which is why I am dedicated to trying to get this started, because this is going to take time, like a lot of time. We're talking 2 years before we could get to a place to say, hey, people of Windsor, we would like to, this is what we'd like to do, here's what we'd like to pursue. So I think there's like no better time than now to start, at least get the ball rolling, to start talking to our partners in town to say, how do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think this is something that, we could manage, that is warranted?
regardless of what comes out of these assessments, is going to be beneficial information. Either we get the full facility assessments and the occupancy assessments, and we say, we're in great shape, we don't need to do anything other than maintain, or we get those back and we say, there are some red flag areas that we think we need improvement, especially as it comes to the size of classrooms for our special education department, dedicated rooms for PT and OT, which we don't currently necessarily have, other than spaces that have been makeshifted for them. So again, I'm not projecting what is going to come out of it, but I think we need to start somewhere. So that truly is what this recommendation is about sending the idea and, hey, town council members and Peter Sousa, can we entertain the thought about engaging in some of these studies so we can have very educated discussions around the future of our infrastructure?
Thank you. Other comments, discussion, questions?
I have
Mr.
just a
Madison.
question about how the baby steps work. And first of all, let me say that Mrs. Lee has raised to me the concerns that she has around Clover and the capacity. And we're hitting a wall there. I'm not sure how it is at the other schools, but I can't quote numbers because I was trying to pin her down on numbers. But yeah, it's a legit issue. Excuse me, you mentioned occupancy. What are the baby steps here, right? So even a full engagement is going to be, what, $200,000, $300,000, I think. I mean, that's just the reality. Okay, there you go. And so, but you had mentioned like a progression, right? So like, this is baby step number one. We have to, I think what we're voting on here tonight is just, do we go tell the council, hey, we're worried?
Do we?
Net, right? Now, what are the baby steps in there? Can they turn to our facilities people and say, could you guys just put 40 hours, 80 hours, 120 hours into just a 2-page thing? Like, how does this go before you hit that $300,000, $400,000 bill to get a real assessment, which is what I think it takes to assess the problem?
Yes, through Ms. Otter, if you can.
I can attempt to respond to this. Dr. Haiti was kind enough to speak to Kate Carter in South Windsor, and we were able to get some information from the consultant that she worked with. So, and Dr. Haiti, please jump in at any time. My understanding is it would go something like this. We have to start the conversation with the town, okay? And we have to say, we think it would be in our benefit to do X, Y, and Z assessments to get enough data to say this is the current state of our buildings. Here's our projected growth. Will our buildings sustain our population? Do they have what we need to have a positive learning and safe learning environment? So those are the 3 studies. It would be the facilities, the in-depth facilities study. So we're talking internal, external, like the whole 9 yards. Again, none of this can happen until the town says, yes, we would like to engage in this. The second is an occupancy study that goes a little bit deeper than what was done 3 years ago. The consultants tend to pull a little bit more data and look at different I don't want to say platforms. What's the? I wrote it down, but I brought the wrong notebook.
Condition assessment.
Okay, so there was the facility condition assessment, and then it was the occupancy assessment.
Yep.
And then the enrollment, right? So projections, where we have the basic, but the consultants go in a little bit deeper. Rough estimate, again, and this is not like a promise, but for those 3 assessments, it's probably about $150,000. But out of those assessments come a very clear picture of if our facilities can long-term sustain the children, the teachers, and, the way we need to move forward. Just that, if we engaged tomorrow and got these assessments started, you're looking, at 4 to 6 months before the assessments get complete. So then, at that point, that is when you have someone take a look at all of the data and say, here's what we think are your best options, because you're going to have a consultant that's going to look at things like community interest, right? Like where are the pain points here? What is the community concern? They're going to look into things like, where the facilities are located. They're very in-depth to provide us
your best path forward is going to be this. They would help with referendum planning. They would help give us information on how they feel we could best provide the information to the public to end up in the best place possible. So, and again, and that assessment is probably like 6 months after the initial assessment. So,
So you said the first one's about 150, and you said the next one would build on that? So you're talking about, what, 200K, 300K? Just to get the hierarchy of, it's a two-stage, essentially what it comes down to, though.
it's the assessments,
Yeah.
and then it's the cost benefit study, right? So those are the components, and then it is funding, you know, whatever that outcome is, if, you know, what that would look like.
Totally, yep. All right, thank you.
Mr. Wollaston.
Oh, I was just going to ask a question of clarification. Just because, I don't know, I guess she did answer your question, but I was wondering if you were asking what are the baby steps before those assessments, but I'm assuming the assessments are the baby steps before the CBS.
Well, the baby step is to talk to the town council and to Peter Sousa and to the planning, the public building commission, right? So there's so many stakeholders that need to get behind this.
But none of that has an explicit cost the way that the
No.
the three studies would, yeah.
That's
I'm
just
all for getting
time.
rolling. It's an interesting question. When it starts to cost money, that's where it gets scary. But I mean, if we can just, so this vote tonight is just to say, listen, we are worried, let's move the next step. So they come back and they say, okay, go ahead, but what does that mean? We then come back and do what?
So, right, what does that mean? So if we go to the town, we say this is what we would like to do, then it becomes kind of a question and negotiation of, okay, so where does the funding come from? Is it coming part out of Board of Ed? Is it coming part out of the town? Is it coming all from the town, right? So then that's kind of like that next step, and then it's engaging in finding the consultants.
All right, so either we'd have to find the money or they'd have to find the money. We have to negotiate.
Or we both have to find the money,
Split it.
yeah.
Okay. All right. And we have to vote through the money, and then we get the three assessments. If we find the money.
If they agree to doing the 3 assessments, right.
Yep. Thank you.
Mr. Wollaston, Mr. Wollaston and Mr. Lockhart.
I just wanted to ask, from your understanding, is any part of this process, has it ever been grant funded by any other communities that have taken this procedure?
The consultation, has the consultation ever been funded?
No, like, has it ever been, any of the, like, the prerequisite steps, have they ever been grant funded?
No,
It's always been
the
out of
funding
pocket?
will come when we actually move on and do
Okay, so this is the part that we just have to pay for.
Right.
Okay.
Well, and this is the part that, like, again, this information, regardless of the outcome, this helps us say, okay, this is our CIP, right? Here are the things that we need to do that we know are issues with our current buildings or with current capacity. So there's not a ton of downside other than the fact that we have to spend money in doing these assessments, from my perspective.
Anybody else for first time or second time?
So how much of a pitch deck do you need? Like, part of the thing going through my head, the reason I'm interested in going down this path is that there's a spreadsheet that I think Danielle had that put together this stuff that had, like, how old are the buildings and so on, right? I also seen the pages that come through the budget of, like, all the things that are broken, like the ceiling in the gym at Clover and stuff like that, and go down the list and leaky doors and everything else. I can see that in my head, because, what's that?
Auditorium curtain.
Yeah, exactly. Is there, what materials, because if you just go to the town council cold and say, hey, can we look into this? I don't know, they might say no. Do we need some kind of pitch deck or something that says, here's the problem, at least as far as we know it today?
So I think my approach is less of here's the problem and more of here's the potential,
Okay.
right? Because I'm going to stand by this. Strong schools create strong economies. You know, you posed a question a couple of sessions ago about teacher retention. Do you want to know what keeps one of the things that keeps teachers? The facilities, being safe, having what they need to successfully teach the kids. So I think this is long-term planning, right? So I envision a future where innovation
is at the forefront of all of Windsor Public Schools, and I don't know that we can accomplish that with the infrastructure that we currently have. I also see a significant population turnover happening in the next few years, and I would love to see more young families coming in and seeing our enrollment go up, right? So I think that the pitch is for the town council. We want a strong economy. We need to do everything we can to make sure that we have a strong school system, and facilities and infrastructure go a long way into helping that.
And I think, Dr. Haiti went with, and Mr. Souza both went to see the schools in South Windsor. And my understanding in South Windsor wasn't just a question of looking at building replacements. It was a growing population in South Windsor. South Windsor has a good school system, as we do, but a lot of people are coming to South Windsor, hence they needed additional buildings. And we've seen that this has been successful in Madison and Farmington, Wethersfield recently, East Windsor, I think you have mentioned before. So Wyndham. So it makes sense that if you're buying a house, you have a house inspection. If you're buying a car, someone looks at it first. We don't really know the kind of real details about our buildings, and the questions have you added today as well about where's our population going to go. If the answer becomes the opposite of where we think it may be, it's shrinking, maybe we only need 2 buildings, maybe we only need 3 buildings. But some of that hopefully will be answered within some of the studies are being done. And the other statement I was going to make is, can you talk a little bit? I know there was a conversation today with Dr. Haiti and yourself and Mr. Souza about this, and is there any additional information, or was most of the information added to what you've already?
No, so I think Tracy included everything we talked about today, and the need to have this study phase before we jump into making any decision in terms of what we think we need, because we don't really know what we need until we have the data. And enrollment, we talked about this morning, we talked about having an enrollment projection study done at a deeper level than just the one that we do, because it has proven not to really be correct year after year. So there are other companies that go really in depth. I think he said to the point where they almost, survey every family, are you gonna have more kids? I don't know, it goes at a really deep level where they're able to find projections. They look at housing, they look at a lot of different things, so that we can really say in 10 years, are we gonna see an increase, or are we gonna stay the same, or are we gonna go down?
Okay, thank you. Ms. Taylor?
Thank you. It is going to be an increase. I do real estate, and I'm telling you, families are coming in and having babies. So he's going to be the only one whose kid could benefit from this. But anyway.
Work is flying.
Halleck, by the time his kid gets
Yeah,
to 12th grade.
Mr. Halleck. Yep, exactly.
Ms. Taylor,
The devil is upstairs.
Yes.
Mr. Lockhart. And I'm gonna be with Jill and not drinking. Listen, so the thing I just wanted to highlight about South Windsor. So my family lives in South Windsor. Their boys play sports and everything. And so I want to be very clear to the public. It is really nice what they got going on in South Windsor. But let me tell you one thing that they don't have. They can't ever have a night game. They have no lights. They don't have the sports facilities that we have. So I just want to share that it took forever. My cousin, his wife said their process, battling it out at town council meetings, families leaving pissed. It was a lot. But their kids now, a senior and a junior, were able to reap the benefit of some of the things. But they do not have our night game. And so they just want to share that their senior night is senior morning. And there are some things that we have been investing in along the way, but I really appreciate the conversations. It's going to take some time, just like all-day kindergarten, right? These things take some time, but you have to start somewhere. So all we're trying to say, Mr. Madison, is that, ping pong it to them, right? They hold the purse. We don't. So it's we've done it as pretty much as far as we could probably stretch it. It's going to be hard for Tracy to probably let go a little bit of it because. But I'm talking about decision making. We can influence at this dais, but I just want the public to understand that it's only but so far we can take things, and there's folks that have to be part of the, the actual decision making. Can we be there to advocate? Absolutely. But I think we've gone as far as we could possibly go with the discussions, and the next progressional step is to send it to town council.
Any other comments before we vote? Mr. Panos.
Just a brief thing. I hope we're going into this objectively without let's say, a foregone conclusion that it's objective, that we have some beautiful buildings. I know there's some that have problems, and, as anybody is aware, there are a lot of problems that come up with new buildings. So you have new buildings, you have new problems that you're not aware of. So anyway, I think it needs a study, I say, and it shouldn't cost millions, but I don't have a lot of faith that you can project 10 years from now in population. That would be quite a trick.
They did for South Windsor, and they were very close. And that's why it's, 10 years ago when they started their 10-year plan to build 4 new schools, they did the projection that South Windsor is going to have from, I think, 500 to 600 additional kids, and actually it's a little bit even over the projection. So, and this is why the consultant this morning said there are different companies that don't just do we use NASDAQ. They do just the very basic, which every year has not really been correct. This company, they look into other things, and I can't really speak about what they look into, but that would be part of our research.
Okay, we'll see.
Any other, any
If I'm
last
alive.
comments?
All right, Mr. Manos.
Paul, we're gonna make sure.
We're gonna wheel you in, Paul. Look at
That's it.
you went through, Paul.
That's it.
Oh, yes, Paul.
You'll have to you'll have to put me in a bottle of Maker's Mark or something like that.
Whatever it takes, Mr. Panos.
Okay,
And
so-
just thank you to Mr. Halleck for dealing with all of my rantings and long emails. I appreciate you.
You're a real MVP, Jeremy.
A motion made by Ms. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Panos, to basically send this request to the town council for their review. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstention, motion carries 8-0-0. Policy committee is next. Anything to add to policy, Mr.
No, I just wanted to say thank you guys for your hard work. Answered the questions on time, before time, and very grateful for the hard work you guys do.
Here, here. Other matters, regular board meetings, Board of Education swearing in new board members in board special organization meeting. The first one that's swearing in is Monday, November 10th, 2025, at 6 p.m., Windsor Town Hall Council Chambers. And the next item is Board of Ed Special Meeting Retreat, Saturday, November 15th, 2025, 9 a.m., LPW Boardroom, and it's hybrid. And finally, the next Board of Ed regular meeting is Tuesday, November 18th, 2025, 7 p.m. in the LPW Boardroom, and that will also be hybrid. Next item on the agenda is audience to visitors. Well, before I get there, I know it's getting late, but we didn't do school reports. But if there's someone who'd like to mention something about the school that represent, some event they had gone that they feel important to be talking about or not, or some event going on, I know we left it off because we knew this would be a late night and we still have an executive session to go through. Mr. Madison, no? Ms. Otter, no? Anybody?
I just want to say that I did attend the Junior Honor Society induction, and we have some phenomenal kids that got honored that night. So just congratulations to Sage Park for the amazing job that you do in supporting the kids. And yeah, I was very proud. I think there was like 48 students. Yeah, that's amazing. So congratulations.
Thank you for Leonard and Mr. Panos for attending that. I attended as well, and thank you for Dr. Mallory for pinch hitting. I know you had an issue to deal with, but Dr. Mallory did a great job. I don't know. He
When's
may
the
be
ice cream
sending you
social?
regularly.
Thank you, Dr. Mallory.
Yeah. It was almost a coup.
Okay.
Couple things for
Sorry, Mr. Halleck.
Thank you. Just a couple of things for Pequannock.
Okay.
This Friday, October 24th, is a Pink Out a day to raise awareness for breast cancer awareness. A month, and also it's October. It started, excuse me, on October 1st, and it's going to be running through the 31st of October. So any unused socks that you have will be donated to homeless shelters here in town. So, you know, it's a great cause. So, please get involved with that. Thank you.
Thank you. I see they had a trunk or treat event there. I saw the parking lot with, looks like kids were having a fun night there at Pequannock. Ms. Taylor?
Yes, I attended a few, boys soccer's senior night, so congratulations there. It's a lot of senior nights happening as fall sports start to wrap up, so congratulations there. Volleyball's senior night is tomorrow. Congratulations, girls. Love you, Ava.
Anyone else? I want to also acknowledge Dr. Pierce and the orchestra members. Thank you so much for let him know that we appreciate him. I'd seen him also at Bart's with a few, they only had a few students that night, but this was great having this many showing off their talents. Audience to visitor. Is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak to the board? Is there anybody with a hand raised online or anything in the chat?
There's an attendee, but there are no hands raised. There's nothing in the chat, and there is nothing in the Q&A.
Okay, if anybody, I'll give them a few seconds. If anybody online would like to speak to the board, I'll give you a couple seconds to raise your hand. Seeing and hearing none, without objection, closing audience to visitor. The next item, looking for a motion. Number 13.
Yes. Where is it? Oh, the background, the current transportation contract is ending on June 30th, 2026. Discussion regarding the potential risk and benefits of entering into negotiations with DACO for renewal of contract versus putting a request for proposal with Windsor Public Schools Transportation Services. I move, even though this is recommendation, I move that we move into executive session with action anticipated in open session. I am asking for Ms. Batchelder and Dr. Haiti to join us. That was.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Panos to go into executive session to discuss transportation contract, inviting Dr. Haiti and Ms. Batchelder. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Abstention, motion carries 800. We're in executive session at 9:18.
I'm sorry, not 17.
Superintendent's conference. application? Should we ask the specific?
Yeah, we can't say what, right?
Yeah, the motion doesn't.
Just kidding, guys.
I strike that previous motion.
What died to it?
It died?
To a lack of second.
Died to like a second. Okay. It died. Did you hear that, Ms. Daly?
Ms. Daly, that motion
That
died.
motion died to a lack of second. Our current Windsor Public Schools transportation service vendor. Whew.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Look at God, won't he do it?
Motion
job.
made by Ms. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Panos. Is there any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Abstention, motion carries 800.
God, so cool in here. Bring it home.
I don't know what I want to do now.
Move to adjourn.
You were out of order.
I have something to say. I have something to say.
Apple cider for you.
Hey,
Is there a motion?
let's see.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Jeez.
On behalf of the full board and especially our caucus, thank you for your leadership. I've been rocking with you a while in different seats here, but I just appreciate the time you took. You could have decided I'm retired from the world of work and not done this at all, and you did it anyway, and you stayed longer than you probably wanted to. It's not easy being up here, but again, thank you for your leadership. You've been great. I don't know. I told your wife, we talk almost every day. What am I going to do without my work husband? So, but appreciate you. We can still meet at Dom's for breakfast or something, right?
Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Love you, David.
I just want to say,
I'd also like to say that I appreciated working with you. You're a very hard worker, always prepared, calm, and it'll be, it'll be quite a bit different without you, and it's safe. So best of luck to you, and so I won't have the opportunity to make you miserable anymore.
I'll be hanging out with Jill and Mr. Ristus.
me next. So I want to go next.
Mr. Wallison.
So, I hit my first door ever with David, the first time we went door knocking, and it was an experience. We literally went up to the door. We had two interesting experiences that day. The first one, it was the person who answered the door was of a different party, but we were there because the child and the wife affiliated with our party. So he sat there and listened to us, took the card, and then just ripped it in front of our face. He ripped the card in front of the face. And I was like, is this what we go through? On my first door ever.
Excellent.
On my first door ever. It was such a shock.
Mr. Panos saw us walking there and he called his friend.
But you know what? I stuck along. We finished the route, and the rest is history. I've had an immense pleasure working with you. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. I remember also taking you around, I think one of the concerts or something at Town Green and just saying, this is what you do. You go meet folks, and I would introduce you. Occasionally you saw some people that I didn't know, so it was nice. It was good. I want to again thank Jill. Again, I'm sorry she was not feeling well later in the meeting. And we've had our differences, but she always was engaging with me, and we could agree to disagree on some things. And as most of the time, most of our votes, people don't know, are you always voting 5-4? No, we're not. We do have difference of opinion, in particular on certain issues, but I think everybody who's been running, who I've seen, who have been members, really want the school district to succeed and want the students to do the best that they can. So I appreciate that. Mr. Halleck and Mr. Lockhart.
Mr. Fury, I just want to say thank you for your service. It's been an absolute honor serving with you. I know we came in together years ago.
Not that many.
I'm gonna miss your jokes, you know. Definitely are jokes to hear. But I've really enjoyed the conversations that we've had, both in and outside of the boardroom. So I look forward to many more of those, either on the town green or at the polling place or wherever it may be.
Or someplace on Pequannock Avenue near near Brown's Harvest.
And to our friend Jill, I've always appreciated her passion for being on the board. So I thank her for her service as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Lockhart.
All right, in the absence of Jill, thank you for your service to the board. We always didn't agree on certain things, but it was good to have candid debate, no matter how spirited it may have been. It takes a lot to put yourself out there and to run for office and to sit up here and do the work, so thank you for your service. And for you, David, it's been an 8-year run for you. I want to thank you. We've been up and down the road a little bit with CABE as well as this work, and a lot of people think we do a lot of rubber stamping up here, which is clearly not the case. There's been times where you and I just did not see eye to eye on certain things, but we stuck together as a collective 9 to get the work done. So thank you for your service. I'm sure your family's glad to have you back. And do not pull the Paul Panos and come back in 2 years.
He'll be back.
Friends, don't let David be Paul Panos.
I expect to see you at audience to visitors
I will be there.
demanding.
Just like you saying, the Democrats and the Republicans are wrong, so I have to run again.
Team Paragon needs $1 million.
Oh, good. The last
And we're gonna feed them.
feed them, right? Good. A lot of hungry high school students there.
If I could too, David, just
Yes.
say, been good serving with you, appreciate it. I remember when we were running in column 10 together.
Yep.
We're on the same team, for university that day. And so we were up in front of Pequannock, I was like, yeah, vote column 10. So appreciate you being in the lead here. So thank you. And thank you to Jill and Abstentia. Students to be there too, so appreciate it.
Yeah, I do.
Love and happiness moves in the choose joy.
Mr. Panos?
I just would like to express my thanks to Jill, too. I often refer to her as my board wife.
I get it, Paul. I get it.
Denise is just the board wife, Denise.
That's B-O-A-R-D, as opposed to the other one. And she got a mind like a steel trap, I'll tell you what. She remembers everything. And so she would keep me on, on the straight and narrow. It's amazing, she, like a wife, so I appreciated her help, and is, so.
What's your address? So if your address is tonight.
Very good. Thank you.
I want to say that, that I've appreciated working with everyone. There's so many highlights I started writing down that would go on and on of the things, but just been a great experience. And as many know, I've said this story many times. My father-in-law was superintendent. My wife was teacher of the year in 2014, 2015. My daughter now teaches at Sage Park. My wife went through Windsor schools. Both my kids went through Windsor Public Schools, got a great education, and when I retired, it was still something I wanted to do. I was always on the PTOs or the PTAs, and because my wife didn't want to be kind of in a situation, oh, well, you're a teacher here, no wonder you want that. So that was my calling. So until I was not planning on doing it, but I remember Darlene Clays was chair of the Democratic Party, and we were short one candidate. Luckily, everybody has been able to fill for this cycle candidates, but I said, okay, I'll do it, Darlene. And so that 8-year example has been there. And Leonard, thank you for your leadership. My first 2 terms, you were the right person at the right time to be the president, coming off some tough times that Mr. Panos and Ms. Santos and yourself experienced, and you took the ship a different direction of trying to be much more collaborative. and I hope I was able to try to follow in your footsteps. And Dr. Haiti, if you can make it through the first few months here, you're in which you have. You're still standing. Well, you're sitting now, but you know, better times will be coming. And to thank, I see Robin here, but Robin, Lexi, Sally Brown, the heart of central office. And I know she was planning to leave with me. That was the deal, but I know she's now been, I think, co-opted here to.
Thank you so much. You can't leave me.
Yeah, yeah. I said, wait a second. I thought we were both going out. No, I changed my mind.
Everywhere.
So, but again, thanks everybody, and wonderful staff, and wonderful teachers, and I'll miss the breakfast though. I'll miss those teacher appreciation breakfasts. You may have to invite me back, whoever becomes president here. Danielle's invited me to the Manilis, so I'm gonna have to say yes before the 10th. So looking for one more motion.
Oh, this is so sad. Okay. I move to adjourn.
Is there a second? Oh, motion by Ms. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Panos. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Abstention, motion carries. 800-951.
Good job, Dan.